Buenos dias. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Life, just like every chess game I've ever played, it is full of challenges, crossroads, and adventures. My life is a game. Chess is a board game in which you can learn the basic rules in about 15 minutes. But it has more combinations than atoms in the universe. I was fortunate enough that the game of chess, it also became my career. But I feel that it gave me much more, as I believe that chess is not only a game, a sport, part of culture, but it is also an exceptional tool of education. Both my parents are teachers, and I was born into a very special family in Hungary, in a modest home behind the Iron Curtain. Before I was even born, my parents decided that I was going to be a chess champion. My mother taught me the first move when I was about 5 years old. At the time, my sister Susan had already serious chess trainings in the living room behind closed doors. I was very curious to learn the game and play with my sister. Imagine me as a little girl standing in front of the door, and I really wanted to enter, but it was forbidden for me to do so. And my parents told me, you can only enter once you learn how to play chess. I was very motivated to learn the game. In the beginning, it was only a game for me, but gradually it became competitive. It suited my character very much. The motivation and competitiveness was very useful later in this male-dominated sport. I was playing with the best players in the world as the only woman. From an early age, I found myself being the only girl and later the only woman in man competitions. But I never forget the experience when I was about 7 years old and I was playing against grown-up men, blindfolded. Which means in chess that I was sitting with my back to the chessboard and I was calling out the moves like Queen G8 check. My opponent would see the board and take my queen, saying Rook G8. I would say Knight F7, checkmate. A few years later, in Greece, when I was only just 12 years old, a big milestone came in my career when I won the gold medal for the first time. I recall a special moment when in that Olympiad, I was playing game 10. I was very focused on the board. I was concentrating. The games can last many hours, 4, 5, 6 hours. But at one point, I looked up from the chessboard, and I couldn't believe my eyes who I saw. It was Garry Kasparov, the world champion, watching my game. Wow. It was real inspiration, and it gave me energy. The player who I admired so much and learned so much from, he was watching my game. It gave me so much energy and inspiration that shortly after that, I smashed my opponent. At the end of the Olympiad, a journalist asked Kasparov, what does he think about my chess?
I think she had many chances to become the women world champion. I have no doubt about it.
Do you think that once in your life you can play each other
I do
can
not,
play
I
against
personally,
her.
personally, I don't believe that this is nowadays women can fight against men. It's very difficult because of the great tension of the game, and this is another level of fight. It's in principle I don't believe, but everything could happen. But still, it's hard to imagine now. It's not because of Judit. It's because of my idea. Because I'm convinced that it's almost impossible.
Okay.
But almost impossible.
But he was not the only world champion thinking similarly about women's chess. As a matter of fact, the legendary world chess champion Bobby Fischer once said, "There isn't a woman player in the world I can't give a knight odd to and still beat." Just to give you a perspective, what it means in chess to give a knight odd, it's like entering in a marathon run, having your legs tied together. You can imagine how happy I was at the age of 15 when I broke Bobby Fischer's record and became the youngest grandmaster. But by this time, I was the #1 woman player in the world. But my real dream was to become the ultimate #1 between men and women. And I was the only woman player competing with the very best players and fought with the elite players. It was about 6 years after I met Kasparov that we had our first encounter over the chessboard. It was an exceptional experience for me. As Kasparov has such a charisma, strong presence, and incredible chess understanding. Practically, I had the feeling that I've lost the game without even making a single move. You may ask, how is that possible? It's because I had great respect for Kasparov's chess, and psychology is a very big part of the game. Just imagine Kasparov with all the self-confidence, with energy, comes into the playing hall and sits down opposite to you. You know what feeling I had? I had the feeling that he wants to eat me up alive. It took me years until I figured out the right strategy against him. I was building up my self-confidence, and I was using his own strategy against him. My strategy was that I will aggressively attack his king, and no matter what happens on the chessboard, I will stick to that plan. I gave Kasparov a hard time, and after a few hours of play, he took off his jacket, put it on the chair, took off his watch, put it next to the chessboard. And his body language gave the impression that he does not feel comfortable at all. And he got away this time. He escaped, but I felt that victory was within reach. In our next encounter, when we played, Kasparov chose a more solid game. He exchanged the queens already in the opening phase of the game and wanted to steer the game into calmer waters. And despite his efforts to equalize the game, I managed to gain initiative and increase the pressure. After some play, the critical moment arrived in this game when he captured one of my pieces. And the natural move would be reaction to capture it back. However, I made a surprise by bringing my rook from the corner into the middle of the board to attack his king again. Shortly afterwards, few moves later, Kasparov's king was forced to go to the edge of the board and couldn't defend against the checkmate. I did it. I beat Kasparov. But you may ask, did I accomplish my dream of becoming the ultimate world chess champion? And I have to say, no, I did not. But I beat and challenged the top man players in the world. I played in the World Championship tournaments, and I beat 11 respected world champions. The secret of my success is practice, perseverance, and passion. I was practicing daily many hours for decades, and I do believe that work pays off. I had countless bad games, tournaments, and difficult period of my life when I needed my character and my perseverance to gain my strengths back. And I think passion is exceptionally important element of success in sport, in work, and in life. I do believe that all of us can reach our goals by making good moves in life and reach the impossible. Good luck, and thank you. Muchas gracias. Thank you.